Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, Assassins. Today is August 15th, Monday, and we have an interesting week ahead of us. We're starting off today on SPY, 1 year, 1 day. We're right next to that SMA we've been talking about, right? We predicted this overall uptrend, and now this is the major crossroad, basically where we have to be cautious at. If we're looking at the RSI, we are overbought, but we've been a little bit more overbought before. It has went up towards like 78 in the past. Right now, the RSI is sitting around maybe like 73. So we want to watch to see what's going to overall happen. Are we going to break this SMA, which is sitting around 428? And then if we break that, we can start possibly pushing up towards 434. So preferably, you want to watch to see if we break and hold above this. This is a high risk position if you're going for a long position today. If you see we break 428 and we start again towards 429 and we hold that level, then that's when you could possibly look for a long position towards that 434. But today is going to be very high risk for long positions because we're right below that SMA, which could act as a wall. You can see before we had pushed up into that SMA, rejected it, and pulled back. So same situation can happen today. So definitely want to watch to see what's going to overall happen today and be very cautious, especially at the opening. We made a high of 427, and you can see we are starting to pull back already. 20-day is crossed down. RSI is heading towards the oversold position. She's actually breaking some key levels. I was waiting for it to break. Let's jump over towards the 180-day. Once you see on the 180-day, I'm looking for a break of 424, a break of 424. Down here we could start basically pulling back down towards 419, maybe even lower. MACD on the 180-day wants to cross down. You can see on that first cross up we had a nice bullish trend from 412 to where it is right now. If we cross down, we could start pulling back down, maybe even lower than 419. So let's see what happens. We are still above that EMA right now. If we start to break and hold below it, then we could start getting bearish. So that's my outlook for the overall SPY. Jumping over towards Tesla. Tesla actually, Elon Musk basically congratulated his workers. They basically hit 3 million cars in China. So that's basically good news for them, actually. So definitely want to watch to see how Tesla acts today. You know, sometimes Tesla can act on its own against what the overall market is doing. So let's see what happens with Tesla. Tesla is a little bit more on the overbought side. We made a high pre-market of $905. So that's going to be the level you guys want to watch. Jumping back over towards the 20-day. Once we break 905, you can see we had spiked before to 918, 919. Watch out for that. If we reject this 905, which we rejected it before in the past, watch for a break below 897. And then we could start touching the 20-day SMA around like 889. So watch out for that on Tesla. Make sure you set your alerts. And then the next stock we're going to want to talk about is going to be Amazon, which Amazon still on a sideways trend, still struggling to break that 144. So we want to see what's going to happen. Overall, it does look like ascending wedge. SMA starting to catch up with it, but you never know, right? So it has rejected this 144 multiple times. It's either A, it's going to squeeze out, or B, it's going to basically pop down to the downside. So watch for that 145 break, then we can start basically going up towards 150. If not, we're going to watch for the break of 142, and then we can start going down towards the 139 range. Next stock we're going to talk about is Apple. Apple is on a beautiful uptrend still, right? So you can see Apple still on an uptrend, not really caring what the overall market is doing. So watch for the break of 172.20, and then we can start going to 175, 180. If not, watch for the break below 170 down towards 166. As you can see, Apple's 20-day did cross down on the MACD. RSI is a little bit more on the overbought side, but she's still trucking. So let's see what happens. Apple has been continuing this uptrend since June 16th. And you can see we basically put in that bottom. Apple has been on a straight rocket ship. So let's see what happens with Apple. If it's going to continue, maybe it'll be even go towards that 179. 179 was a previous resistance level, which caused that overall downtrend on Apple. So I think that's where she wants to go. So watch Apple. Keep an eye on that one. Last but not least, talking about Netflix. Looking at Netflix next. Netflix took a nice drop on its previous earnings. Basically went sideways. This is forming a beautiful possible gap fill pattern where Netflix could shoot up from basically 257, maybe even up towards that 324 level. So watch out for Netflix for the break of that 252, right? And then we could start basically pushing up towards 260 and possibly higher. Reason we could gap fill like that is because we took such a sharp drop before where there's no support and resistance level. So watch for that 252. Then next level is going to be 266. And then we can start basically pushing up towards those 300 levels. So let's see what happens. It's a little bit more on the overbought side. I would love to see this RSI be a little bit more on the oversold side before we look for that bounce. But let's see what happens. Anything could happen in this market. You guys could see this over here. We kind of hit it before and we rejected it. Maybe we'll retest it today. As long as it stays above that 20-day, we can remain bullish. If it starts to break below 247, we can start going down towards 243. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys all have a green trading day. If you feel like you learned something, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.